There you go, This is the infamous Mr. Jim Pancake, driver, Superstock AH 1968 Hemi Dart, the yellow one. And Jim has been racing. How many years have you been racing these SHAH cars, Jim?
Well, I started in '69.
Wow.
And I've quit a couple times. The last time I quit was 88 or 89. And I was done until almost 2000 when I bought Jerry Daly's car and come back to the AH class.
Gotcha. And you still have that Jerry Daly's car?
That's correct.
Is that going to make an appearance someday in the future or no?
Probably not, because for us to be competitive, we have to go in and cut it up quite a bit.
So it's pretty original.
I don't want to do that. It's an 8-second certified chassis.
Yeah.
And it's an 850 certified chassis. It needs to be a 750 certification.
The car itself that you're racing, then, when did you build that? The Darts?
We built that in '07 from, I called it a Tijuana taxi. One of my buddies was in the show out in Vegas.
Okay.
He said, that car you've been looking for is out here. They said, this is the solidest old Dart I've ever seen.
Wow.
And we talked and got it bought, and he got a guy to ship it back to me, and when it showed up, I about fainted. It had about 4 coats of house paint on it with an old roller cover.
Oh my, but it was solid.
And it absolutely was solid. It's got the original trunk floor in it.
That's cool.
All the original floors in it.
So then who did the chassis when you bought that car in 2000?
John Holt built this car.
Okay.
His dream and nightmare.
Why do you say that?
Well, because it's a lot of work. And for instance, I stopped by his shop and he had the cage in it.
Yeah.
And I had business there in the area the next day, so I stopped by again, and he'd cut it all out. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well," he said, "I'm thinking about it last night." He said, "It just isn't the way I want it." He said, "It's got to be right." He said, "I want it to be just perfect."
Wow.
And he redid the cage, and then he said, he called me one day. He said, "Stop by here." He said, "I want to make sure we got this thing fitted right."
Yeah.
Did you want these 2 brats that are out here? There's 2 brats you want?
Yeah, I'd take them, if you don't mind.
No, I think.
At any rate, I stopped by, and he says, "You know, get in here. I built this cage bigger than normal," and I got in it, and it was. Thank you. Well, they're perfect. Yeah.
You want ketchup or mustard?
Mustard, yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
At any rate, I had my Carhartt coat on, crawled in there, and John about fainted. He said, "Oh my." He said, "We need to redo this, spread it out some more."
Yeah.
So he stretched her, you know.
Yeah.
Made it big enough that it's comfortable for me, and the car fits me good. It fits me like a glove.
Yeah. Tell me how
you
you
need to do that, right?
And then who did you have do them? You've had a number of guys do motors for you.
Well, Burton was doing my stuff at the time.
Yeah.
And last year I switched to Westcott.
Yeah. So Charlie's doing your motors now.
Charlie is doing the motors now. That's a Westcott piece in the car.
Yeah.
Complete Westcott piece.
Yeah. And how fast were you this morning?
We only went a 55, but we spun pretty bad, and we went through the clutch. I've never seen it do both.
Really?
So we're chasing that right now.
Do you expect to be a little faster than in the first round of eliminations?
I certainly hope so.
Okay, interesting. You always are right there in the thick. You know, Steve had a 41,
right?
So you got your work cut out for you.
That's right.
You got another 10th in that car, that's what you're saying?
Oh, there's another 10th in it. Whether I can find it and drive it will be the question.
Okay. Hey, it's great talking to you. I'm sorry to disturb you here at your lunch, but you are a veteran. You are a mainstay here to these Hemi cars. How much do you love racing them, and do you think it's got a nice, bright future?
I think the future is pretty good for them. I mean, there's a lot of interest in the cars.
Yeah.
I certainly love the old cars, and and I'm still doing it. I tell people I haven't gotten any smarter because I still want to do this. I enjoy it. You know, about the only thing I enjoy more than this is my wife and my grandchildren.
Well, there you go. You got your priorities straight.
So,
Jim, a pleasure talking to you. Hope you do great today. God bless you, and thanks a lot for your time.
you're welcome. Thank you.